All right, welcome to the next episode of the Iowa Girls Wrestling Stories podcast, now partnered with Chain Wrestling. And today I have two sisters from Algona, senior Malyn and sophomore Mara Davis. And I said that correctly, did I? Am I
No,
right with no, I didn't. I always say it wrong. Say it for me.
Mullen.
Malyn. Man, I'm not
Yep.
going to say that right. I'll just try not to say it because I'll screw it all up. And it is Mara, right?
Yep, it's Mara.
Perfect. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing pretty good, I think.
Good,
Yeah.
good deal. Christmas was good?
Yep, we had a lot of Christmases.
A lot of Christmases. Was Santa Claus treat you pretty well? Get a lot of
He
stuff?
did.
Good, good. And I'm guessing you're back to wrestling now?
Yep, we've
Good.
done practices since Christmas for a week now.
Okay. Did you have any competitions over the break or not?
No, we haven't.
No, you haven't. Okay. What do you got coming up next week then? You got probably have a few different things coming up.
We have a tournament in Ogden on
Oh,
Saturday, and
okay.
then we have a tribe on Monday, but I'm not sure what the teams are.
Gotcha. I will see you in Ogden, so that'll be fun. I haven't seen you guys for a while. Well, actually, you came down and kicked my butt, so that's always fun to have you guys come down for those duels at night. But yeah, you definitely put a beating on us this year, so that's okay because I've recovered from it. Um, so this you'll actually be the third group of sisters I've had on, and actually you're the fourth because I also had Callista and Riley Radish on earlier this year. Um, what's it like to have a sister on the team? And I'll let both of you answer.
For me, it's just like an extra support because of course you have all your teammates, but like when it's your sister, it's just like I don't know, like another level. Like I'm always with her. So
Is that good to
yeah,
always
just
be with her?
most of the time. Yeah, we definitely can butt heads at times, but it only like pushing each other because we just always trying to one up one another, trying to be better, basically.
Do you guys practice together? Are you partners ever in practice? I mean, the weight difference is a little bit, but not horrible.
We haven't been this year. We kind of got banned last year, but
Was that because you were fighting too much?
no, we were just, they thought the weight difference was too much. And like every day at practice, we would find each other first before people that were actually our weight. So we did get banned.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what are some of the bad things about having a sister on the team? I haven't asked anybody this yet, so I'm going to put you guys on the spot. What's it like? Because you obviously around each other at school, you're around each other at home and in practice. Is there anything bad about it?
I'd say mainly the competitiveness, just like I'll make fun of her sometimes. She makes fun of me. So yeah, basically just button heads at times.
That's all right. That's good. That's that good sister rivalry. So how did you get started wrestling then?
I started in seventh grade. Our head coach, Jake Adams, he was actually our middle school coach at the time. And I was just one of two girls. And I started out as a manager, and then I was like, I'm not just gonna sit here and do nothing. Might as well just do it. So I started wrestling. My stepdad, he was a big push to like, why not just do it? Like it's not gonna, it's not life or death type of thing. So I tried it, and we've stuck with it.
Did you get started about the same time, or did you a couple years later?
I started my seventh grade year, so 2 years after she did.
Okay.
Um, and it was mainly just my two best friends, Reagan and Laura, on our team. We were the first people to wrestle from our school, like after them.
hmm
So it was them. It was like just being exposed to wrestling. Like Luke coached Humboldt, so just always being around that environment. And yeah, I was a manager too, so we both started off as managers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask how is Luke, man, he was a really good wrestler. He's a really good coach because I've been around him quite a bit at some practices, and I really enjoy him. He's great. So what's it like to have? Also asked the girls this because they all have their dads in the room too. All of them have coaches. So what's it like to have stepdad in the room?
Yeah, so me and Mara probably have different opinions on this, I'm guessing. Me and Luke definitely butt heads. We are both extremely competitive and just like have very high expectations. And so when things don't go quite right, that can sometimes end up in a little bit of a, well, you should have done whatever. But
Yep.
at the same time, he's always there. Like he's always a shoulder to cry on after losing a hard one. And so it has its ups and downs.
Yep. I can see that. And he's competitive and he was a very good wrestler too. And we'll get into your coaches a little bit later. But how about you, Mara?
Um, he's always been really supportive and like just I don't know, I'm really sensitive, so I will bawl after I lose, and he's always been there to just comfort me, and that's the main thing for me.
Well, I know I got to meet you guys at the BVU practices that we've done for the last few years and stuff. So, what was it like to be able to go down to BV, especially in your young? It's been a few years that you guys have been coming down, so you were a little bit younger, maybe not as far into wrestling at that point in time. What was it like to come into a room with a lot of girls and some of those practices we've had up to 50 kids in the room. So, what was it like to come down to BV?
So at the start, we actually didn't have a lot of girls in Algona. So that was almost like our only shot to like wrestle with someone that was actually our size, like before we go to AU or anything like that. So it was nice to just like kind of get a feel, almost know kind of where you're at. Like, did I get my butt kicked or was I doing okay type of thing. It just helps to know kind of where are at in the span of things, I guess.
Nice. What do you think? Did you like those practices too there?
Yeah, for me, it's probably like the same, just having someone like your weight and having it actually like tailored to you instead of having to wrestle people that for me are usually bigger. So that was nice, just having more people, like a bigger group of people to like be exposed to.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite things is doing practices that are not just my team. I obviously I love practicing with my team, but it's fun just to get to know everybody else around the state and get to hang out and meet new people. That's to me that's really fun. This year you also and got to go down and do some practices at Grandview. Uh, what did you think about the practices at Grandview? Because there was some, you had Allie helping, you had Danny helping out, Adam Hale, myself, Samantha Moore was in the room a little bit. What did you think about those practices and what did you gain from being down at Grandview?
Everybody there definitely wanted to be there, which was nice. Um, I don't know. I had my partner was actually Grace. I don't know how to say her last name,
I know I
but
don't know if I could say Grace's last name either, but
well,
I
I'm
know
not gonna
Grace.
try. But
Yep.
she's obviously very good, so that definitely was helpful. Just like having someone very good to practice with. So I liked
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
I
I
liked
I
that there
like
was a
Grace.
lot of like more quality wrestlers and like just everyone knew what they were doing, which is like kind of different. So
Yeah, nope. I understand exactly what you're saying. When you have everybody's can already do the technique and we're just moving past and finding details, it's a little bit practice is different than when you have to stop and show every single move and go back over it every single time. And I know that happens in your room, it happens in my room, even though it's halfway through the season. It's just sometimes people don't quite quite always have it. So definitely understand that. So the Algona team obviously has been progressing over the last couple of years. What have you seen over the last, let's say, 2 to 3 years since sanctioning with the Algona team and how things are going?
So when it got sanctioned, we had I don't know 7 to 9 girls somewhere in there. Now we have 28, I think. So definitely has grown a ton, and we have a full middle school team. So like
Wow.
the numbers are definitely there. Just like the level of I don't want to say care because they always cared, but like you can see that there's a lot more effort being put in, and like
Yep.
this is a real sport. Or when I was a freshman, it was kind of laughed at, like you're wrestling, like what? Like girls don't wrestle, that's weird. And now it's just normal. Like it, we have a team. That's the same. Our wrestling team is actually bigger than our basketball team, which is a little bit funny to me, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
definitely
is.
grown.
I think ours is also. So yeah, it's kind of fun that the wrestling is girls wrestling is growing. I think our girls wrestling team's bigger than our boys wrestling team too. So, that's always cool. So Mara, you did not get it. You never wrestled anything that wasn't sanctioned other than seventh and eighth grade. So you haven't known any differences. What do you think about the Algona team and just the progress over the last couple of years? I've seen a lot of progress just wrestling against you, but what do you think about your team?
Um, First, I'd like to say like just we definitely they prioritize us as like a sport now because we used to have to go with the boys, and then when the room got too full, we got pushed into the PAC with like wrestling mats. It was just freezing cold, and that's like our theater. So
Yep.
we were wrestled on the stage with freezing cold hard mats, and then now we have like scheduled times where we get to go in and have the room to ourselves, and that definitely makes a big difference.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Yeah, I actually just went to a different school because we have four different schools within our district. So there's an open gym and I have to roll mats out every day, but I have my own space and the girls have their own space. I think it's better in a wrestling room, so it's kind of nice not to have to share space anymore. I know you got at least one really good girl coming up next year, Ruby Roof. We've watched her. Man, I've watched Ruby for a lot of years. I can't believe she hasn't been in high school yet. But you got a good club up there. You told me you had about 10 girls coming up and quite a few that have been wrestling for a while. So looks like, future is bright for Algona and which
Yeah.
makes me real sad because I have to wrestle you guys every year, at least once, actually twice, at least twice a year. So, other coaches in the room, Jake Adams, man, that guy, I absolutely love talking to him and having a good time. What's Jake like in the practice room?
Um, he has two very different personalities. When you're in the practice room, it is go and you're not messing around. You're there to do your job and he's very serious. And then the second practice is over, he's back to his like goofy, like doing cartwheels across the mat. So he's definitely good at switching back and forth between those.
Yeah. What's your opinion there?
I'd agree with everything she said. He's really, really serious when it comes to like being in the room, and like it's we have really tough practices sometimes, and he can be really strict, but then at the same time he's like sweet and he's really nice afterwards, and he's always there if you need to be like comforted. So he can definitely have two personalities.
Yeah. And then you got Nikki. Nikki's in the room also. And what's like, it's probably nice to have, just a female presence on the coaching staff. I know I enjoy having a female coach in our room. What's it like to have Nikki in the room with you guys?
She's like our mom, honestly. She organizes majority of our stuff. She's actually like our other two coaches' mom, actually, too. When they get out of line, she's there to keep them in shape. So we would definitely be late to a lot of things if it wasn't for Nikki. She definitely keeps us in line.
Awesome. Yeah, Nikki, I've known her for a lot of years. I go back to Ruby. I have a picture of Ruby when she was probably maybe in like second or third grade. She was on one of our youth teams and stuff, and her hair was all big and crazy then and stuff. And now she's out short hair and it's not that crazy little blonde haired girl anymore. But man, she's good. So it'll be cool to see her finally hit the high school. Uh, so just so you guys know, your team has not gone unnoticed. I talked to a lot of coaches, especially in Northwest Iowa, and everybody's kind of fearful to wrestle Algona. And the one thing is that everybody says is that you guys always stay in good position, and you're always, you really have to work on. I mean, you have to really work to score on you guys, and you're in good position to reshot, and you're in good position on bottom, on top. So obviously that's practice room stuff. Do your coaches feel the same way? Do you hear talk about positioning a lot in your
That's
practice room?
actually that's actually very funny because that's what we get yelled at about the most is staying in good position and coming up and standing up and so it's actually funny that you said that.
Well, I think whatever's happening and whatever you guys are listening, because it shows on the mat, and that's what coaches focus on, those little details, and you guys are responding to those details. How's the season been going for Algona? I know you came down and you had a lot of dual wins against us. How's the rest of the season been going?
Yeah, right now we're undefeated as a dual team, so we
Nice.
haven't lost in duels yet. And um our tournaments, they've been going well. We get like top three to most of the tournaments we go to. I think what did we get at Donnybrook? Like ninth? Yeah.
Which is, I
And
mean,
that
that's
is
such a
with a lot
huge
of bigger
tournament.
schools. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really good. I mean, that is wrestling some really big schools and a lot of schools from out of state, and then those out of state matches really don't count against you anyway. So, um, how have you liked the new rule set, the 3 point takedowns and the 2, 3, and 4 point on the near fall?
Personally, it's probably hurt me more than it's helped me. I have no offense on my feet. I'm very bad at going. We're working on it, but it's not there yet. So I don't know. I've always wrestled from bottom. Like that was always what I worked on was bottom, 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 and getting reversals. And now that's not as much. But I guess the near fall you can get more there, so that's helped. But I don't know. I've had to switch up how I've wrestled a little bit.
Yeah, I will tell you, there's been a lot of matches I look up and it's like, how in the hell are we behind that many points already? And those you get, a couple takedowns and some near fall, and man, you're down 10-1 or something, and it's like crap. That's horrible.
Yeah,
How about you,
definitely
Mara?
switched
I
up.
know
Um,
how's the new stuff for your style?
For me, it's definitely helped me. I've gotten a few tech falls because I've in the past have kind of a hard time pinning people. So it's just like get another near fall and get another takedown and then it's over. It's fine. But
Yeah.
and so that's really helpful for me, especially because like I don't shoot that much, but when I do, it like is usually works out for me. So that's been
Good.
helpful to get those extra points.
Yeah, I kind of was looking at your records and where you were from this year to last year. Um, if I have everything right, and it might not be 100% accurate because it might be not didn't have your last stuff in, but I got you at 23-4, Mara, ranked sixth in the state right now at 1A, and that's really good. Last year you ended up being 28-10, but you sat behind Harley Tobin all year long, kind of so you didn't get the opportunity to wrestle at regionals, did you?
Nope.
Nope. Yep. So, that's kind of tough sitting behind somebody like that. But, I'm sure you learned a lot wrestling Harley every day in practice. Um, but, being ranked sixth as a sophomore, looked at your district and there's nobody ranked ahead of you. Didn't, obviously you can't look at rankings and obviously there's going to be some tough competition there, but it looks like you have a pretty good opportunity to make state this year, which is awesome. So,
Mhm.
how do you feel like the season has gone for you?
It's definitely a big improvement from last year. I just I lost a lot more last year, and having Harley in the room was great because she was like a really good wrestling partner. She was like she legged, which is like not very like traditional, so that
Yeah.
was helping get me exposed to other wrestling styles. And even though I didn't get to wrestle at regionals last year, I did learn a lot from Harley, so that was good. But this season is going good so far for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Harley's fun. I've known Harley for a lot of years and she likes to joke with me a lot. So, I do miss her on your team, but I'm happy she's at BV, so she's not too far away. Let's see. You got your 100th win this year. That's pretty impressive because it's early in your senior year and you have your 100th win done already. I got you down at about 16-5 at this time. Is that right? Okay.
Somewhere
Very good.
around there, yeah.
Somewhere around there. So, and I looked at your losses and they're pretty high level losses, a lot of ranked people and stuff like that. So those are not a bad thing. And I think most of the losses actually happened against 2A people also. So, looked like your regional, had a great opportunity to go to state again this year. Last year you were a qualifier. Must have won a couple matches down at state. I think you scored 15 team points for Algona. So,
Yeah, maybe two or three. I don't really know,
Don't
actually.
remember. Yeah, so I mean, I just checked out the team score or team scores, and you had scored 15 points. So that's at least a couple wins, probably maybe a couple pins in there too. But then AAU, you went to AAU State, and you had a great tournament. You placed first at AAU State, so that's pretty awesome. And that was at 122, same weight and stuff. So that was really awesome. Um, while we're talking about wrestling and stuff, do you have any, are you thinking about going on in wrestling in college?
I've had a couple colleges reach out. I'm actually going to Ames for cosmetology school,
Oh,
so
nice.
a little bit opposite of wrestling, I guess. But I did think about it for a little bit, but I just don't know if it'll work with my schooling. So
Yeah, well,
I'm
that's
actually
all
not.
right. If that's what you want to be, that's great to know that already. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I have no idea. So, how about you? Are you thinking about wrestling in college? I know it's a lot of years off yet, or it seems like a lot of years, but it's going to go quick. You can ask your sister how fast that flies by. It doesn't take long, and you're having to make those decisions. Are you thinking about college at all?
I haven't really thought much about what I'm going to do after high school, but I do know that I am probably better at my running sports like track and cross country. So if I were to like bring a sport into college, it would probably be track or cross country.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's the next thing I wanted to talk about anyway is the other activities. I know both of you are runners, both in cross country and track. Why don't you talk a little bit about everything else you do in high school?
That's about it for me. I just do track and cross country.
No other,
Um,
don't do any choir or band or anything like that.
I don't. I'm not gifted.
I am not either. So don't feel bad about that. Yeah, you don't want to hear me try to sing.
yeah, I'm not in any other sports other than that, but I am like in like a lot of art classes. So I'm going to an art show at the end of this year. So
Nice.
I like paint and draw. So
Very cool. And you guys were state qualifiers last year as sisters. 4 by 800, is that right?
yep.
Yes.
So 800s. That's a tough race. Is that not like probably one of the toughest races there is? Just because it's somewhere between a distance and a sprint. So you kind of got to sprint the whole time. And
We're
that's
a
a
little
long time.
biased, but yeah, I think we would agree that's probably one of the harder.
Yeah, based on like I run 1500s, I ran 400s. I think 800s is like the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, well, because it is. I mean, 2 laps of sprint is that's a lot of sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got short little legs. You do too, but I had short little legs, and I don't like that sprinting thing. I also ran cross country. I wasn't good. You guys are probably good. Did you qualify for state for cross country?
I was quite a ways off this year. This year was kind of rough for me. My freshman year was definitely better, but hope that that doesn't happen next year too.
Well, I'll tell you my horrible cross country story. I was our top runner my senior year, and I'm not good. And I did have the best time I ever had at regionals or districts, whatever they call it. It was in Fort Dodge. I don't know if you ever ran there before or not.
Yep.
And I crossed the line and I heard the number 99. So, if I was our top runner and they take the low score, we probably didn't qualify for state. So, yeah, that was not my best sport at all. Um, what else do you guys like to do in your time off? I'm sure it's not just running and wrestling. There's other things you could probably like to do. What else is out there for you?
I'm really a homebody. I love to be at home, but if I am out of the house, I like to shop and I just am usually with my friends all the time. I don't have a ton of hobbies really. I just like to be at home.
How
For
about you?
me, for me, I have like a jewelry business that I run like on my free time, and I like also like do a bunch of art stuff, but that's like kind of related. Other than that, just like hanging out with friends. I love to bake and just like make a bunch of treats. So
Very nice. Yeah, I saw that. I did a little snooping online and I did see that you had a jewelry business. How did you get started doing that?
um I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago now that I was gifted like a jewelry making kit, and then I made a bunch of stuff, and my whole family like encouraged me to like start selling my stuff. So I started like an online thing, and then there's a bunch of vendor shows in our area. So I started at the fair, and then I like there's a bunch of little shops that will let other vendors in to sell their stuff. So that definitely helped get my name out there
Well,
for my jewelry business.
well, very nice. That's awesome. You're already an entrepreneur, making all kinds of money. You'll be able to help your sister retire and she won't have to work ever. So that'll be awesome. So I did see somebody ran a half marathon. Did you both run a half marathon or was it just one of you?
I ran the 10K. I'm not quite
Okay.
at half marathon status yet.
I I uh I have ran 13 miles one time in my life and it wasn't in a race. I just did it because I thought I should try it and I don't recommend it to anybody. That's not a great idea. My body hurt so bad for a few days after that. It was horrible. So no, I commend you for doing that. Um, with last year, this is I got to get to know you guys a little bit better on this whole AAU experience. Um, how has your AAU experience been? You did Twin Rivers not last year, but the year previous. What do you like?
Yes.
Do you like Twin Rivers? Is that I think it's one of my favorite tournaments, but what do you guys think about Twin Rivers?
I liked it. It was definitely probably the hardest tournament I've ever wrestled. I had kind of a rough go. I had three state champs from three different states in a row, actually.
Wow,
Broke my nose on the first match. So it was an interesting tournament, but it was definitely fun. I still am in contact with actually two of the girls that were on my team. So definitely got along with them. So that was fun.
that is awesome.
For me, it was a really good tournament. I was in eighth grade wrestling younger people, so there was like seventh and sixth graders mixed in there too. So that you could kind of say is an unfair advantage. But I did go all American. Um, so that was really nice, and I loved my team. They were all super sweet, and most of them were younger than me. Like there's super little girls on the middle school team. So,
Yeah, no, those are fun. Do you remember who your coaches were?
oh gosh.
Did you have a college girl coaching with you, or just?
Oh, I do remember mine. Her name, one of them was Avery, and one of them was Cadence Bouchon.
Oh yeah, cool. Yes.
Mine were the Nevada coaches. What's
Oh
her
yes.
last name? The Leslie. Mine
Leslie's
were the
Leslie's
Leslies. Yep.
Tanya, Mike, and then and yep, those two are pretty fun to
And then
coach
both
with
the
too.
girls were on my team. So,
Yep.
yep.
I've coached with them a couple different times. They're really fun. You got the opportunity last year going down to Scholastic Duels in Fort Lauderdale. What was your experience down there? I know I talked to both of you quite a bit while we were down there, but how did you enjoy the trip? Let's just start with the wrestling. How was the wrestling down there?
A lot of quality girls, a lot of really good people, and it was just like being on a team that you don't like know all of them. Just that, like they were still, even though I didn't know most of them, they were so supported and like they all cheered like for everyone, which was such a good environment to be in. So that was really nice.
Yeah, and you had Dan and Danny as coaches, is that right?
Yep.
How was having the Dan and Danny show? I've coached with Danny Ellsbury a couple times, and he's a blast. And I know Dan Stifle pretty well, but I've never coached with him. How was having those two as coaches?
That was so fun. They're such funny guys, and like, you know how you're in Florida, it's a lot of pressure. You really want to win, but they didn't like put that pressure on you. They just like said, just go out and wrestle, and whatever happens, happens. And they still like, even though they didn't know my moves, they still coached me. They still called out what I should do, which is like super nice. So they were really fun to be around.
Yeah, those are two pretty awesome guys. And then you got to coach with Allie, or your coaches were Allie and Adam. Is that right? And
Yep.
that's a pretty good group. I hang out a lot with actually both of those two. I've done a lot with them over the last few years. What was your experience like on that team? And I think you had a kind of a head trauma injury that tournament too, didn't you? So how how
Yes.
was how was your coaching, and then how about the concussion? Do you remember anything from that?
So I wrestled, I think maybe a little over half my matches, and then I had to drop out due to a concussion, which turned out to not be so. It's probably a good thing I dropped out. The doctors were not too happy with us when we got back, but other than that, it was just like the team aspect was definitely fun. Because there is pressure, but at the same time, like there's not because it's all girls from other states. This isn't. I don't know. It was like a good amount of like you do want to win. You always want to win, but like there
Yeah,
was no crying when you lost type of thing.
yeah,
The
because
coaches definitely had that too. They knew like we're here to win, but what can you do? If you lose type of thing.
yeah, yeah, it's and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to win a lot, but that's off season wrestling, and that's what really, I think a lot of people see some big gains, from doing a lot of off season wrestling, and whether you win or lose, you still gain something out of it, and having some different coaches, different teammates, I think is always fun. I enjoy having different people in my, with me in the corner. I think that's fun. I learn a lot from them too. So. The fun part of going down to Florida, what did you think about, the ocean, the area, all the fun stuff we did? What did you think about that?
Um, that was really fun. Just like first off, our roommates were so fun to be around, the Bachmans. So they were like just like built-in friends that we had the entire trip. So that was really nice.
And
And
I, I,
just like
I gotta stop you there. So I did tell them that we were gonna find out all the dirt. So which one of them snores? Do they snore at all?
I don't think either, but Mackenzie stays up super late. Like she was on her phone really late because I was up too. So or no, Kennedy and Malyn would go to bed, and then I would just look over at like midnight, and Mackenzie's still up. So that's all I
That's all the dirt, huh? It's the only dirt I got on them. Well, that's all right, 'cause they're pretty good girls too. You still stay in touch with them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're having a good year too, both of them. That whole area. What'd you think about just being able to walk across the street and there we were at the ocean, our own private beach for the most part? I That was my favorite part of the whole thing. What'd you think about the area we were in?
It was perfect. You had like restaurants pretty close. You had the beach right there. Just like you didn't have to drive anywhere if you didn't want to. So that was nice.
Nice. Well, if you get the opportunity, and I hope you do, you thinking about going back again this year?
I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. All right. Well, I've kind of come through my wrestling questions, and now I'm gonna get more into some fun stuff. And I think I saw a little animal running around your house there. I couldn't quite tell if that was cat or dog. But if you're gonna have your own pet, if you were deciding, would you have a cat or a dog?
Cat. Definitely cat. We grew up with four cats in our house.
There we go. Yeah,
Definitely cat.
I'm I grew up with cats in my house too. I had two Siamese cats that were actually twin sisters, so I had twin Siamese cats. But I've developed an allergy, so I cannot be around cats any longer. My eyes swell up, and so cats kind of have become evil to me. So I'm more of a dog person, but we're gonna give you a pass on that one. Um, if it was vacation time, where would we head out on a vacation if you were going to choose? It must have been last year because again I was snooping through Facebook. Did you guys get to go to Hawaii?
Yes. Yep. 2 summers ago, we went to Hawaii.
That was 2 summers ago. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It
So
was so pretty.
what would be your dream vacation?
I think that we might have the same place. We both want to go to like Italy, Greece, like over. I think that'd be so fun.
Yeah,
I you
that's
know
fine.
I You guys have been on my dream vacation. I think I'd like to go to Hawaii sometime. I think that would be completely awesome. I hate the cold. I don't know why we're in Iowa, but I guess it's the choices we make. Um,
Yeah, Hawaii was really fun.
yeah, I can imagine. So we're gonna have. I love shoes. You probably notice that when you see me coaching and stuff. I always have a different pair of shoes, right? But so you guys are in two different sports. So for running, what's our favorite running shoe?
Um, I wear Hoka spikes. Those are probably my favorite.
I have Nikes. I'm not sure what type they are. I think they might
I
be
don't know.
dragonflies. I'm not sure, but those are really
Gotcha.
nice shoes. So,
Yeah, I'm actually looking right now for some new running shoes. Well, not that I run anymore. Some new shoes not to wear in wrestling and stuff like that. And coaching, something to wear out about. So for wrestling shoes, what's your favorite wrestling shoe?
I've had Rudis the last 3 years, so probably that now.
Yep.
I had Asics for a while, but I got Rudis ones, and I definitely prefer those over Asics.
Yeah, I think my last 4 years have been all Rudis shoes, and I've gotten a few different kinds. My favorite, I think, are the Dave Schultz to Bliss, I believe is the name of them, but they're the Sly Fox. They're my favorites by far. I love those. Um, what's their favorite kind of music?
Justin Bieber. I
Really?
love Justin Bieber.
I wouldn't say I have like a specific favorite person or even like a specific style, but I don't know. I've always liked like country, some rap. I don't know. So it varies.
Do you listen to music prior to matches?
I used to. I used to be like a crazy 20 minutes before my match. I'm up and basically sprint walking back and forth listening to music. And now I don't know. Now I don't. Now I kind of sit there till about 5 minutes before. So yes
Gotcha.
and no, I guess.
So what music did you listen to then? Was it a lot of Justin Bieber, or did you go a little harder than the old Bieber?
It was kind of like a mix of things. There's anything that with like a fast beat, I guess, like a uplifting. Like it didn't really matter what the words were, just like something I could get going to, I guess.
Gotcha. How about you? Do you listen to music at all before matches?
I also used to, but it would kind of like stress me out. Like I don't know. I so now I just like sit by my friends and they are like just talk to me and it calms me down more because I feel like when I'm like pacing and when I'm listening to music, I'm just like so in the zone and for like it just like stresses me out. So I don't do it anymore. But I used to listen to rap when I would listen to music.
Gotcha. And I've talked to everybody about this. What is there something pre-match ritual, something that that kind of flips the switch for you? Because you're both super nice girls, right? And you get along with everybody, but then you got to go out, you got to cross that line someplace and become kind of a mean person, right? To be a really good wrestler, you can't be super nice. So, what flips the switch for you guys?
So usually the match before mine, this has completely changed this year. So, but the match before mine, I'll just start telling myself I have no reason not to win this match. Like I'm better than them, even if I'm on paper not. But like I'm better. I have more skills. I am going to beat them. Like just basically convincing myself that there's absolutely no way that I will lose, and that's seemed to work so far.
Good. Awesome. I love that. How about you?
For me, I really like to like kind of plan out what I'm gonna do in my match before I walk out there. I think about like what shots I'm gonna try to hit or like if I'm gonna snap them down, just certain things like that that kind of like helps me like get into the zone.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I always, it's kind of stupid, but again, I'm a pretty nice guy. You've been around me a lot, but then when I went out to wrestle, you have to flip that switch. And the crazy thing is all I had to do was shake my coach's hand. I could, I probably was a nervous guy for a long time, but in college, I kind of did the same thing you do, kind of just chill out, make sure I'm stretched out, but I didn't. Don't get too crazy. But then as soon as I shook my coach's hand, I knew it was time to go. And then that's kind of how I knew I was, ready to wrestle at that point in time. Have you got much opportunity to do some freestyle yet?
I never have. She's practiced a little.
Yeah, for me, last year we had that tournament. I think you were a part of it. A few of our girls like signed up for it, but it did end up getting like canceled beforehand.
Oh, yep, yep.
So yeah.
We were gonna go down to, or we were gonna go out to North Carolina, but yeah, it did get
Yeah.
canceled. Hopefully that doesn't happen. This next year, that tournament's supposed to be in Texas, and I've never actually I've flown into Texas and flown out, never actually been on the ground other than in the airport. So I'm hoping that happens because I'd really like to go to Texas sometime. And so that's in the Houston area. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm gonna guess both you, if you had to choose a style, folk style or freestyle, because you have less experience, you'd probably choose folk style. Is that am I right there?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. And so since we'll talk about folk style a little bit, um, what's your favorite part about what's your favorite thing to do wrestling? What's your favorite takedown? What do we do off the bottom and what's our top? Why don't you tell me one thing from each
You
position?
go first. Favorite shot, high crotch.
Okay. How you
Um,
finish? Do you like finish to a double? Are you crack down? What's your finish?
um, I don't even know. I like do my high crotch and I try to finish in a Turk. So
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
pick, just stay in, maybe go to a double and then try to finish in a Turk.
Very nice. Very
Do you have a
nice.
favorite shot?
Favorite shot? I don't have a favorite, but I know that I definitely do not like singles. You will never see me shooting a single.
Gotcha. Are you more of a do you kind of are you more defensive on your feet?
Yes, which we're working on, but yeah, I have up to now I'm still very defensive.
Gotcha. So
Snaps, I guess that's what I'd say my offense is.
maybe this will help you out in something. So we've been working on getting to a shot without hitting our knee. So from an underhook or just fighting through hands and getting to a leg. Most of the time it's head on the inside. So just kind of hitting our shoulder into their chest and finding a leg. So it seems to be kind of starting to work for us. It's different for us. So that's been slow, but it might be something that helps you with your length. You have great length and stuff, so might be able to reach a leg that way. How about on top? What are we doing? We chicken winging? We're halving, throwing legs in?
Chicken wing for me. I get a wing and a wrist, and that's my favorite.
Nice.
I do cradles. I think about 75% of my wins this year have been with cradles. It's really all
That's
I
not,
have.
and that's not an easy task with girls. I've seen a lot of cradles get rolled through and stuff. So I'm sure that you have a few tricks on your cradles. Probably how you lock it up, and I'm guessing you get coached pretty well on those. Off the bottom, how are we getting well? How are we getting away on bottom?
Mm, Quad pod for me.
Quad
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 pod
pod
and then knee slide.
quad pod knee slide stand up type deal. Yep.
Mhm.
I'm kind of a like I don't even know, just like a your typical like try to stand up really fast, but then if I get taken down, I kind of like sit there on my knees for a little bit, wait for them to like go too high, and then usually throw an arm over their head and be dumb. But sometimes it
Yep.
works. I don't know.
Oh, it's not a bad way to go. I know you guys all know Abby McIntyre. I'm sure you've met Abby at some point in time, and either at she's been to the BV and done some stuff, but that was hers. She'd take the arm over the head, readjust, and roll. And she wrestled guys, and that was still her go-to on bottom. So not a bad thing. So away from wrestling here, what's her favorite color?
Purple or red.
Nice.
Green or like navy blue.
I am a purple guy, so I'm with you there. My wife was green. That's actually our wedding colors were purple and green, so that's kind of odd, but I'm kind of odd. I'm kind of odd anyway. Um, do you watch much TV at all?
A little bit late at night if you can't sleep, I guess.
Do you have a favorite series or anything that you're watching right now?
I
Hmm.
like Criminal Minds. That's my favorite.
Someone else said that too. That might have been one of the Bachman girls, or either that or one of the Heeman girls. I can't remember which one. Somebody else like Criminal Minds. Can't remember who that was, but go ahead.
I don't really have a favorite, just like reality TV, I guess. Anything I can find.
Gotcha. So I love cartoons. I watch Family Guy, South Park, all those. I watch kid cartoons. I got grandkids, so I watch Bluey. Do you guys like cartoons? Do you watch any cartoons?
Not lately. I don't think. No.
I used to because my friend Laura is like obsessed with a bunch of cartoons. So whenever I was at her house, that's what we'd be watching.
There you go. I think cartoons are the greatest thing ever. I absolutely love cartoons. So I would recommend South Park a lot. That's quite funny to me. How about you said you like to bake? How about favorite foods? What are you guys' favorite things to eat?
Ice cream, but I don't know if that's considered a food. So maybe like
No, ice cream is
pizza
its
with
own
a lot
food
of
group.
ranch.
There you go. Yes, in my opinion, ice cream is its own food group. What's your
I
favorite ice
agree.
cream?
Cookie dough, probably.
Okay, here's what you got to do if you haven't had this. Go to Casey's, and I know it doesn't sound like the place to go get ice cream, but go to Casey's. They have in the one quart, it's sugar cookie dough. It is the greatest sugar cookie ice cream you will ever have in your lifetime. It has like pink and blue frosting in it and little chunks of sugar cookie. It is fantastic. So
Now I'm gonna have to
that's,
go try it.
yeah, you probably should. Do you have any problem with making weight?
Well, no, not really. I'm usually
There
only
you
like,
go.
no, not really.
Good. Then you can go get you some good ice cream there. How about you? What do you like to, what's your favorite foods?
I love enchiladas and tacos, like my favorite food ever. Like
Did you
Mexican
get
food.
a so did you get a chance when you were in Florida to go to that taco place?
I don't think so. I don't
Oh
think
my
I was
God.
I went to that.
If you're back next year, remind me. I'll make sure you get to the taco place. I think I ate there two or three times, and I know Adam went there like almost every day. So yeah, it was fantastic. And then we'll go back to the pizza and ranch. I don't know, we must be like long lost relatives or something because you got to have ranch on your pizza. Do you put Parmesan cheese on it too?
I don't. I'm just a big ranch person. Like at wrestling meets, you'll find me with a bag of carrots and ranch most of the time. I just really like ranch.
Ranch is a fine condiment. It used to just be a dressing, and then it actually took over for ketchup as the number one condiment in the country. So that's kind of very exciting. If you could change one rule in the sport of wrestling, what would that change be?
Hmm. Oh, what do I get called on the most? Probably lock hands.
Then you go freestyle because you can lock hands in freestyle.
Yep.
I think that they call like potentially dangerous too fast. Like let it hurt a little bit. Because if it hurt that bad, I feel like they would flip over. Like you wouldn't fight it. You wouldn't keep fighting if it was like about to go. I don't know.
There you go. That's you see, there is that mean streak in you. I can see it. That's just hurt them. Pull their arm off and hit them with it. That's the real change I want. So no, that's awesome. I've gotten through all my questions, but I always leave time for the final thoughts, and they are usually very profound final thoughts. So these are things that are probably written down in books and people will study later. So what final thoughts do you have for everybody out there?
Oh gosh. First off, we're thankful that you had us on here. Thank you for that.
Oh no, it's so much fun for me to talk to you guys. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I just think like it's so crazy how much it's changed and just like being at the first like state to now is just like absolutely crazy. Like the actual level of wrestling is so much higher and just like the number of girls obviously that comes with it, but it's just definitely crazy to see how much it's changed.
Yes, you are 100% correct there.
Um, I don't know. I think just seeing how many girls there are now is like just insane to me. Like just even just watching on just our team, how like the numbers have multiplied is really cool to me. So
Very good. No, I wish you both the best of luck the rest of the season. I will see you in just a little bit at the Ogden tournament, so I'm excited for that. But stay warm, be safe, all those good things, and good luck the rest of the year. And we will see you soon.
Thank you.
You bet. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna stop recording and I'll talk to you for a second.